is going on? Welcome to another episode of Musical Hideout, the show where we hang out with artists, musicians, and entertainers in Waylon Jennings' old basement studio. As always, I am gathered here with co-host Ryan Poole, who I'll pass it to introduce the guest.
And your jury. And you can't remember where... For the listeners out there, Jury still doesn't know where he says his name in the intro, and it's fantastic.
I've said this like 200 times.
A very special guest.
So special.
7.6 on the Richter, which is exponential.
Oh, man.
As we all know, because we're all Californians.
That's a little too close to home.
And that was a very strong hit.
Triggering.
Ladies and gentlemen, did you recognize that voice? It is, of course, Teddy at Night.
Hello.
Now, for this intro, I have prepared a joke. I was going to pull out my phone and read it to make sure I didn't mess it up, but I left my phone in the other room, so I'm just going to have to do this from memory. So it goes like this.
This is new.
Yeah.
I believe in you.
All right. I've heard at... wait. Sorry, I've already messed it up. I've heard of Teddy at day, but but what's the deal with Teddy at night?
I'm proud of you for saying that from memory.
I'm proud of you for being bold enough to say that.
Thank you.
Here's the thing.
Wesley, did you cut to his shot for the reaction? Good. I planned that with him in advance.
It was great.
So good.
I don't know anymore. So I'm a dad now, and it's funny because I joked about like, hey, Teddy at night, like the whole at night factor. Like I had this like, for lack of a better term, like mission statement towards like I wanted to inspire people to be who they are like at night all the time. Where I figure, you're either drunk or tipsy or delirious or just looser and happier at night when it's dark and it's beautiful out. And so I'm like, man, let's take that concept and
You're just like, let's be drunk during the day.
fuck yes. Like it's that simple. Like, and then I had a kid and it's like my bedtime is 9:00. So I'm a fucking liar. Basically, like I built this brand and then it's like, hey, let's inspire people to,
To sleep.
Yeah. But yeah, Teddy
Gotta
at
be
day.
well rested to be a good dad.
Yeah, but hey, guess what? I think it's nighttime right now.
True.
So we're good.
Yeah, we are at night.
We're good.
Wow.
It's at nighttime.
The only other at night I can think of is Nick.
Dead. You already went there.
As other people have said this too,
The
I'm assuming.
only one person. You want to know
Oh,
who it
really?
was?
Huh.
My mom.
Really? I'm just immediately like,
Not trying to
Nick
throw
at
you.
night?
Not trying to throw you in there, but
Yeah, me and her mom, like
She
two
went-
peas in a pod.
oh, I love that. It's like Nick at night, And we'll just stop
Good
there.
family at TV.
Yes. Yeah.
I
So,
dream
yeah.
of Jeannie.
Yeah.
A dream
Well,
of
there's.
Genie.
Oh, what was Nickelodeon, right?
Yeah, Nickelodeon, yeah. Nickelodeon at night.
Oh yeah, The Nanny was Nick at night.
Was it?
The
Much
Fran?
later, probably.
dude, Everybody Hates Chris.
Yeah.
Much
yeah.
later.
Hey Arnold.
Nick at Night, when I was a boy, and we were about the same age, so when you were a boy too.
Yes.
Nick at Night when we were young, I can just say was all the old shows. So it was I
Yes.
Love Lucy, I Dream of Jeannie, The Brady Bunch.
Oh yeah.
And that was my
classics.
exposure
Green
to all
Acres.
these shows.
So I didn't have cable till I was 16.
That explains.
So my Nick at Night was The Nanny, being like, "Oh shit, am I allowed to watch this? She's so beautiful."
And Teddy is a musician here in Nashville, Tennessee. He has a band called Teddy at Night. Check it
True.
out on the Instagram. And I like doing these jarring multi-part intros now.
That lasts for like 30 minutes in the beginning of the show.
Exactly.
We're
But
here
here's
with-
And I learned a bunch of cool things about you when we sat down that I didn't do any research or learn in advance.
Cool.
The first thing is that you're from San Clemente, California,
It's true.
which is just right on the other side of San
Hop,
Diego
skip, and a
County.
jump.
Yeah, we all grew up not far from each other.
I love that.
So we're brothers. And then also, you were in 2 ginormous Christian bands at one point in time.
Cue sound effect.
Oh, we have them.
We do.
Feel
Would you
free
like
to press
pick
any
one?
button at random.
Yeah, just see what happens.
I'm gonna use.
Don't do the red one though. That's the intro.
That's the intro, yeah.
I'm gonna use just in good faith, but
Intuition.
Here we go.
Intuition.
Oh.
Purple.
It's fucking Christmas morning.
I was hoping that was the one you hit. It's like the longest one. It's so loud.
That I would describe that as not how I felt while working for these bands, but that's the soundtrack that was in my nightmares while working for those bands.
So you played with Family Force 5.
That's true.
And for King and Country,
Yes.
which if you don't know Christian music,
That
this
means
is
nothing
like
to you.
That's okay.
Massive names. But so anyway, I want to get the whole journey of how you got from San Clemente
Cool.
to Christian bands
Cool.
to now no longer Teddy at Friggin' Night. And my purpose of this episode is to get the Teddy at Night
Great.
saga, as
Beautiful.
I'm calling it now. I'm calling
Wow.
it.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not 18 anymore. Sadly.
Yeah. At 18, you don't have a saga.
I have to Google which hashtags are like trending on certain days to make sure I'm relevant, you know.
See, I still begrudgingly say it's not a hashtag, it's a pound sign.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I'm in the right room. I'm in the right room.
Though actually, I found out I'm actually wrong. A pound and a hashtag are different. One of them is italicized.
Oh shit.
I don't
Pound
remember
sign.
which. I don't remember which
Pound
is which.
sign.
Is it?
Yeah, I know that from the Death Cab for Cutie Codes and Keys album.
How about that? Wow.
By the way,
Dang.
Wes, so you could fact check that. That's just like
He just made that shit up.
Just because Death Cab's art looks slightly italicized to me doesn't
It is.
mean.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so here we are.
Okay.
Southern California.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you grew up a small boy in San Clemente, California.
It's true. I was
not
born in Palm
surfing.
Springs.
Oh wow.
Oh, nice.
So I identify
very
more with
few.
Palm Springs.
Really?
My dad is from Joshua Tree. And yeah, I grew up the poor kid in the rich neighborhoods and the
Nice.
rich schools. My mom was a teacher. She taught at like some pretty fancy private schools. So I grew up with some really fucked up kids. It was like the, hey, you know what'll fix our like 12-year-old drug addict kid? Let's send him to a Christian, private Christian school.
Ooh, in a private Christian school in is this saying italic? The number sign looks italicized to me. Does it say it?
Yeah, it does. Pound is italicized.
Hell yeah.
Mystery solved.
Well,
Thank you, Death Cab. A private Christian school in Palm Springs got to hit different because Palm Springs is very liberal in my estimations.
We're talking, yeah, we're talking Orange County. When we got, I lived in. See, here's the thing. A manager friend had said, "Hey, say you're from Palm Springs. Do not say you're from Orange County." So, I don't know, man. I can't say that I'm anything that I'm not. So, maybe Palm Springs will eke out
Sure.
here and there. But I moved when I was 3, so
Yeah, so you grew up in Orange.
I packed up and I moved to Orange
I
County.
mean, you grew up in the home
Why
of
did they
Disneyland.
say that? They're like Orange County's the past, kid.
But I don't know. I think I had talked about Orange County in a proper context where it is a bubble. It's a very weird world.
Yeah.
And man, I will say I grew up pretty lonely. I grew up with the kid that lived in the apartment complex with a community pool.
Nice.
Don't fuck with the community pool. But a lot of my friends had like their own pools in their backyard. And
Yeah.
it was like maybe age like 13, 14, 15, there was this weird like, oh yeah, like I don't know if I want to go to Teddy's house because he
Yeah.
shares
Other people are allowed at your pool, Teddy?
yeah, he shares a room with his sister, and like there's all these like stinky dudes at his community pool. But does your pool have fucking barbecues? I don't think so. Anyway, so there was just like a weird. So I don't know. In talking to this more in the know of the industry human, he was like, "Oh, Palm Springs is much sexier," and I was like, "I agree. Palm Springs, I love it.
It does sound better.
It is, yeah. Yeah. So that's where my parents
Yeah,
met.
there's nothing wrong with Orange County.
No,
I mean, there's a lot wrong with Orange County, but not any more wrong than anywhere else.
I agree with.
You know.
No, maybe a little bit extra. They're real close to LA.
It's funny because like you guys know, you're like, yeah, Orange County is like the buffer before you get to LA, to where it's like,
Yeah.
the goal growing up was like, I've been in band since I was 11. It was like, work hard and move to LA. And a lot of my friends had more at their disposal than I did, so they successfully moved to LA, and I'm proud of them, and I love it.
Do
But
you like LA?
I like visiting
Yeah.
for about 3-4 days tops.
I got a
Yeah.
good 10 hours in me.
Yeah.
you know what?
Yeah. I can get lunch, then I'm
You know
like, I
what?
need to go back to San Diego.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for real. When I go back to Orange County now, it feels like a fever dream. It feels like I kind of am like irritable and on edge. Like it just,
The city makes you that way.
dude, it's for real. So when I first moved here, 11 years ago. So I live here now.
Right.
I live in the South, kind of. And so I live in East Nashville, so I feel safe. I lived in Antioch and Brentwood for a little while. I did not feel safe. So many Trump flags. But
In Antioch?
Brentwood.
Oh.
I feel like there's a hard line. There's one road that
There.
goes down. On one side it's Trump flags, the
Yeah.
other side it is not.
Yeah. Like the other side is like demo CDs taped to the telephone poles, which I would prefer big time. That's my dude.
St. Lucia?
Oh yeah.
Love St. Lucia.
So great. He remixed one of my songs off my EP.
For real?
That's
yeah,
cool.
Blueberry Water. He's Jean, man. He's a very, very, very kind dude. I looked up to him for years and trolled him hard on Instagram, and he ended up listening to my EP and loving it and
Wow.
remixing a song. It was fucking
so
crazy.
rad.
So
Did you see them when they just came?
yeah, were you there?
Yeah.
Oh,
at,
shit.
At Brooklyn Bowl?
It was great.
Yeah, I mean,
It's great.
that place is so small. I couldn't have been more than 10 feet from you.
Yeah, true.
Weird.
Dude, I love.
Wait, were you with that group behind me that was like really, really loud, and I had to turn around and go, "Hey, stop being so loud because you're ruining the show."
Did you do that? Like
Do you
an
remember
old man?
Dude, there was this group behind me, and
You
I'm
have to
gonna pull
do
the
that.
mic back because it was terrible, but like it'll get distorted. But this guy's like, "Oh my god, play Walking Away! He's doing it! It's him, guys! It's him!"
Busted. No, sadly, that was not me. I
glad-
got scared because I was with a loud human who was complaining about the mix the whole time, and I was like, "Fuck, is he about to call me out?" No.
That'd be the greatest moment on our show.
It's so
if you
Nashville. You
inadvertently call
walk
him
in the
out.
room, and it's like, "Oh, we're connected in 300 ways. Okay, cool."
I don't like the way the kick is EQ'd, so fuck you. Dude, Brooklyn Bowl is beautiful.
It is.
Dude, growing up, I mean, I grew up driving down to San Diego, all the House of Blues, Anaheim, Hollywood, San Diego, like.
It is kind of House of Bluesy.
Yeah. So the balcony vibe and stuff. When I first saw Bad Sons, was my first Brooklyn Bowl show, and I was toasty, and I just got super emotional. I felt like, as like High Watt and Cannery, they're all closing, and Exodent's closing. Like, I know Brooklyn Bowl is it's borderline corporate, but like I got very excited for the future of Nashville's like just that level of music scene, whatever. Like, it made me hopeful. That and East Side Bowl's venue. Have you been there yet?
No.
Dude, it's fucking great. I saw Declan McKenna there,
Oh, cool.
which is one of my favorite artists. But it was just like, it feels like
yeah.
a dirty.
Brazil.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I love that track.
It feels like it's what the city needs. So Brooklyn Bowl, I've probably seen 10 shows there now. And I'm like, I will go there as much as I can. It's a dream to sell it out next year.
Do it.
Speak that into existence. Anyways, yeah, St. Lucia.
Man.
Hell yeah.
Sorry, I've had just enough mezcal to get into, I call it squirrel mode. My wife calls it squirrel mode, to where I'm like,
Squirrel mode?
I'm like, oh shit, squirrel.
Yeah.
What's that? What's from a movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Up.
Yeah.
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 Pixar.
Great
Yeah.
intro, mediocre movie.
Oh, dude.
I liked that.
We're not about to spend an hour talking about Up.
Oh, we could.
Fine, fuck it. We're talking about Up for the rest of this
This is
podcast.
the Up podcast.
So Palm Springs, and then you moved into the where the Desperate Housewives of Orange County.
My BFFs.
And how'd you get playing the musics? We used to start every
Playing
episode
the
with
musics.
We used to start every episode with, how'd you start playing music? And then we decided that question sucks, but there always comes a point when I'm like, I kind of want to ask that question.
But that's
Did
valid.
you play in bands growing
That's
up?
valid. Yeah, dude, I grew up obsessing over U2, In Excess, a
We
band
did
called...
have family from Joshua Tree. So.
Dude. Oh, and that was like kind of a claim to fame. My parents were massive U2 fans. There's a band called The Alarm, and I grew up only allowed to listen to Christian music and 80s music. And so naturally I gravitated towards 80s music. And dude, I don't know. I loved everything about that. And so yeah, the first band I was in, I think I was 11 years old, and it was a metal band because I was the only one at my church with a double kick pedal.
Nice.
And we were called Seasons of Despair.
Hell yes. Which double kick did you have?
Fuck. It had to be DW. The red one.
Okay, I had the I
No, I had
started
an
with
Iron Cobra.
the Yamaha. You had the Iron Cobra?
I had Iron Cobra.
I started
Wow.
with the Yamaha direct drive double kick,
Jeez.
and it was the best kick pedal you've ever played because the direct drive was just so responsive, and it was like a ribbon that controlled it.
Okay, I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
it was like air. It was incredible. It was so good.
Dude, that
but
scene
it
in-
broke. I replaced it. The next one broke again. They're just not reliable. So I
Got like
switched
3
to
shows out of it.
the Iron Cobra.
Dude, funny enough, I moved here. So fast forward, played in a bunch of bands. I have some of my favorite people in the world are murdering it in Los Angeles right now, doing great. I grew up with, there's a band called The Jakes, and they turned into Young the Giant, and then a band called Brothers at Sea, and they turned into Sir Sly, and like Local Natives, and all these like bands. Like we were part of this scene, and in my
Wow.
band,
What a scene.
it was nuts. And my band didn't have what it needed, and that's okay. But I knew nothing, and my family had moved to Portland, like 2009, 2010, and so I was just couch hopping, sleeping in my car, living at friends' houses because I had nothing. But I was like, I need to stay in LA. I was dating someone then and had a job. I was a supervisor at the Costco in the food court.
fancy.
Nice. I've heard of that.
Dude. Yeah, I've come a long way. Yeah, and so
I don't know, man. That kind of sounds like you peaked.
I wasn't gonna say that, but it was great. It was in Capistrano Beach, California, to where when I was sleeping in my car in the parking lot, you could leave the windows down overnight. So
Yeah.
because the weather is perfect, and it was like I don't know what what I was complaining about back then when
Probably
you know,
being semi-homeless.
there was a great breeze. I didn't.
And
The
you
homeless
watched
part didn't.
Just
some
lived
of
off
the
$1.50
wealthiest
hot
people in the
dogs.
world complain about a $1.50 hot dog.
Yep. Yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah.
But yeah, so a photographer friend who had photographed a band in Nashville and my band in LA was like, hey man, I know you're kind of having a hard time down there. He was in San Francisco, and he's like, there's a band in Nashville called Waverly. And
Oh, I've heard of them.
they need a drummer. And I had known about them, and I knew that they were kind of like this pseudo, like, I don't know if you remember Amberlin, or
Yep.
like they were kind of like stuck between like Amberlin and One Republic. And I was like, man, yeah, I heard that record, not really interested. You know, I'm like 19, just this little asshole kid. And he was like, no, man, I just did their photos, and they're working on some like really cool pop shit. And I was like, okay, like, this probably beats living in my car, but I know nothing about Nashville, absolutely zero. And so I emailed them. He connected me via email, and they were like, cool, can you send us some videos drumming to like these 3 songs? And I was like, fuck that. At that point, it was like YouTube drummers and YouTube musicians were like the thing. And I was like, I will never be the guy drumming on YouTube to some stupid covers. Like, I only make my own music. Anyways, fast forward, here we are with TikTok.
Try one. Do it. Yeah.
TikTok.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was great.
When you click it, it shuts it off again.
Yeah, I
If
just
you
wanted
don't-
just
you
to
want it.
I just wanted just
TikTok. That was perfect. Now I know. But dude, I ended up, long story short, like 4 weeks later, moving here
wow.
and making some of the best friends in the world in this band, Waverly. And went on my first real tours, van and trailer, just like, I was just hanging out with one of the guys in the band last night. There are like the fact that we still talk and hang out and keep in touch like 10 years later. I feel like that tells you enough, but
Yes.
it was
So-
all downhill from there.
Back in 2000, I would say 7.
Mm-hmm.
Was it around that time?
11.
11.
That's when I moved
okay.
here.
So back in like 2007, I
Yes.
worked at a company that was trying to get into the video space, and they were filming. What they were doing is going to Christian music concerts, filming the bands, and then putting out content, and then they would intersplice it with a message given by one of the bands.
Of course.
Okay, so this was like a startup in La Jolla, and
Oh, cool.
I was working there as an intern, and that's where I started learning video editing. And I just I just squirreled. But
It's the mezcal.
a few different things. One, they were kind of ahead of their time because they were creating short form content
Yeah.
that would have done really great on YouTube, but YouTube didn't exist yet. So what they were doing was they were going straight to cell phones, which at the time cell phones weren't doing the internet. So it was
the internet.
It was with Verizon. Verizon had their own little TV channel.
Wow.
It was like a pre-YouTube kind of phenomenon. And so they were working with Verizon. It never took off, whatever. But I learned video editing. And I remember, so I went to a few different Christian music concerts that I filmed and helped out and kind of learned some stuff. And I remember them talking about Waverly. Like they all really liked Waverly.
They had a moment.
And I
It was
had
probably
never-
that year.
I don't think I
Yeah.
ever met Waverly or heard them or anything like that, but I remember them talking about Waverly.
Dude, the singer, Dave Stovall, to this day, one of my favorite humans, one of my favorite voices. He's insane to where like when I like do a vocal take, I like try and emulate a bit. He's, and you're like, that was one of those guys where it's like, fuck you, man. Your natural like timbre and
Just so
and
Says that's
character.
quality to it.
He's got this raspy grit to where, and he's just a brilliant songwriter. And but yeah, that's funny. It was, dude. We were working on some really cool stuff. For a second, we were rebranding as a different name, and we're like dating some rad record labels, and it just they were burnt out, and I was like 21 at that point, so I was like, no, I'm.
You
So
got
they
that
had
tail
been
end.
probably going for a while, and then they
Yes.
lost a drummer, and then you got hooked up to your friend in San Francisco, and now you're coming in to kind of replace
Yeah.
as they're moving to their next phase.
Yeah, and it was honestly, I only have fond memories. There's a couple, you live with people on the road, it is what it is, but man, it was that kind of like that got me to Nashville, and that got me in front of the right people to then drum for other bands, and now
And you've been
we're
here ever since.
And now I'm stuck here. I met my wife, and she's the fucking best thing that's ever happened to me. And I was like, fuck, well, now I can't move anywhere else. If you want to stay here, we stay here.
Okay, I want to hear where this journey continues, but I
Yes.
just realized we've
gotta
gotten
play a
real deep
song.
without playing a
Yeah.
song. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
How about a song about this human,
Yeah.
also known as my partner in crime, Caitlin? This song is about her. This song is about that time.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. How
It is-
apropos.
It's about that time.
Okay, so here is the first song. What's it called? This
It's
first
called
one?
Stole Your Lover.
Stole Your Lover.
I just came to Nashville and started, stealing shit.
Got to do what you got to do.
Wah, wah. Is he ready for us whenever?
Yeah, get ready whenever.
All right.
Paint a picture of history. She don't belong to you. She don't belong to me. Jury's out, and it's clear to me. She's not property, not property. Girls got plans, and by happy steps, they tie me up. Are you still here? Was it not clear? Sorry that I stole your lover, lover. I can't help the way she feels. Sorry that I stole your lover, lover. She gave me all my sex appeal. Yeah. What can I say? She likes the way I make her feel. Yeah. She drinks the mezcal and the fine wine, and she makes sure all of our bills are paid off. Time. Sorry that I stole your lover, lover. I way she feels. Sorry that I stole your lover. She gave me all my sex appeal. I can't help it.
So what can you tell us about that song?
Ooh, that's
I mean, I know
a
you said
loaded
it's
one.
about
Yeah.
that time, about your now wife.
Yeah, this so when I first moved here, I met my now wife through an ex.
Oh, weird.
Her ex.
Oh, even weirder.
Very weird. So only because this is the first time that I am like talking about this in public. It
Just
was
three of us in here.
Yeah, that's it. Very interesting times. She was in a pretty abusive relationship, and we were just kind of loose friends. And I was friends with so-called ex, thinking everything was on the up and up, and dating a human at the time. I was dating somebody else, and
A human.
Yeah. Is that
Which is
not,
a
not,
lot-
not
it's
the
kind of
standard?
abnormal for me, you know.
A lot better than your younger years when you were dating just
Aliens, horses.
Yeah, ducks, you know,
Um,
whatever's around.
You seem nice.
Oh shit! Aliens, ducks, and
I'm a
horses is a
duck.
pretty good episode title.
Crazy. I was like, well, why the fuck are you talking? You're a duck.
Teddy and I fucks with ducks. Let me just tell you.
You like mezcal too? All right. I'll take you out at least once.
I said I'd do anything once.
Oh man, it is good. But yeah. So fast forward, lot of heavy shit happened. We were both single, bada bing, and man, my wife is insane, fucking dynamite, dude. She's my hero, and she's also like 6 foot tall, and like it's hilarious. It's like people see us together and they're like, like who's your like assistant, you know?
Now you're pretty tall, aren't you?
I'm like 5'11", so
Okay.
The height thing isn't the thing.
You know what
She's
it
like
is?
a fucking model.
You
like,
give off the appearance of being like 6'2".
it's these boots. Look at that shit.
Oh, that's what it is.
You gotta if you have a tall wife.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm like, I stay stocked up on the high boots. But yeah, no, she's just a brilliant human all around, and I mean, I would be lying if I didn't say, like, our first hang was like, she showed me around the city, and I was like, you're not single, we can't hang out. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
there's
like,
rules.
I'm like falling in love with you. Like, bye. And so we didn't hang out for like 8 months. You know, fast forward, I need a job, and you know, all my friends work at this really cool like boutique in town. It's called Forever 21.
Oh, yeah. Super local, super small.
And yeah, you may have heard of it. And Caitlin, my wife, ended up being she was the manager, and it just crazy chemistry. Like instantly, I was just like, whatever, dude. Like, like
Dude, a
just
song about like the manager of Forever 21 being a hot girl that you like.
Yeah.
would be a great pop punk song.
Like a late 90s, early 2000s.
only if you reference Forever 21
Yeah.
in the song.
Gotta.
And get sued for it because they're crazy. But yeah, so it was unavoidable, really. We were both dating other people again, and we were just best friends. And I mean, you know, the rest is really history because we've now been together for 10 years and we have a 2-year-old.
Right. No longer dating other people, I assume.
She's hanging up
Right now.
sweaters and she's seeing other guys. Something like that, right?
Checking the schedule and giving me... Yeah, okay.
Giving me the eye.
Oh, shit, dude. All right, we'll
I
talk
can
about
write
this.
some pop punk.
We'll talk about this later. But yeah, anyways, you know, obviously the rest is history. You know, soulmate, partner in crime, love of my life, whatever. You know, fill in all the cheesy cliches. Well, fast forward, the rumor goes, and I quote, which is kind of scary for me to quote this in something that is going on in the public, but I became the homewrecker
Oh.
The narrative became, oh, Teddy, yeah, he stole my girl, and it found its way back to me.
Mr. Steal Your Girl over here.
You know, just it's your modern day Usher. But it was fucking dark. It was really gnarly. I lost a lot of friends. We lost a lot of friends. And we were just like, felt like we were like playing cleanup. Like, wait a second, your timeline's off. This is wrong. Also, you know us. And like, what the fuck are you talking about? And dude, it was, I'm not trying to downplay it or sum it up.
Sure.
It was fucking gnarly.
Yeah.
And there was one of our closest friends at the time who only knew us as, you know, Teddy and Caitlin. And they were at the place of X's work. And they somehow came around to, you know, shooting the shit, talking whatever. And he was like, oh yeah, Teddy? Yeah, he like, you know, stole my girl.
I knew you were going to say that. You stole my girl, bro.
Straight up. This is years later. Caitlin and I had been married for like 3 years at this point.
No.
And I just was like, that just makes me, dude, I love people so much. I'm so afraid of like hurting somebody's feelings, let alone like hurting somebody for real. And it just fucked me up. And in the middle of all that, like I was writing this song, Stole Your Lover, with my friend Chase. And we had got a chorus going, we got some chords going, whatever. And I just started humming like, sorry that I stole your love. And I was like jokingly. And my buddy Chase was like, oh shit, that's the chorus. And I'm like, oh, I can't sing that. Because it was so fresh and it was so like, it hurt me so much and it hurt Caitlin so much. Just this like confusion of like, you know, I mean, I grew up very conservative. I grew up in the church and there's lots of rules and everybody's telling you how to live your fucking life. And I felt really bad. And fast forward, it's now a song and now we're singing it on Music Row Hideout. And it's a fucking banger of a song. It's a great chorus. I love it, but it felt like a bit of a Band-Aid ripping off moment to where it was like, okay, here we go. We have a child together now. I would say anything and do anything to protect my life with these humans. And so the other side of it felt very small after that realization. So I was like,
at a certain point, this guy's got to let go. Like,
That being said,
he just dated a person.
I dated a girl back in senior of high school into first year of college, I think. Somewhere around that time. And I had a
3 years
really
ago.
good friend. Yeah, just the other day. And I had a really good friend at the time who I won't name, but it rhymes with Cameron. And
Smamrin.
we were really good friends.
That sounds like if we all knew, then that's like ha ha ha.
Yeah,
but I don't
you
even
don't
know. Now I don't know. Is his name?
Yeah, his name's Cameron. We were like best friends in high school.
Fuck you, Cameron.
And like right after high school, he like hit on my girlfriend, and that like just ended it.
Now
hard.
they have
and I'm
6
still,
kids.
Now that was 2006. I'm still telling people to this day.
Dude, so Teddy wrote this song for you, bro.
I dated this girl for 3 months. It's
Yo.
not
Sorry that
Dude,
I stole
send me Cameron's, we can
Yeah,
relate.
What's funny, I ran into him since then and like, we're cool. Like, I don't actually hold a grudge. And he doesn't listen to this. Or if he does, I don't know. If you listen to
Hey,
Cameron, leave a
Cameron,
comment
that last
below.
song was for you, bro.
I'm sure he's a good dude, but
You know this.
Well, that's the funny part. It's like, go ahead.
Oh, this just reminds me of one of my favorite Chris D'Elia moments where he
Oh.
says, I know how I look, man. I get it. I look like the kind of guy who would steal your girl and say, that's the game.
He
But-
does. That's a good line.
ironically, at the same time, Cameron was dating this girl's best friend. And they are now married. The best friend and Cameron. Yeah.
Also, ironically,
see it on Facebook.
This
Dude.
guy,
It's
this guy
see you,
stole my
Cameron.
sister.
That's true. I did marry his sister.
Yeah,
I was
so-
friends with him first.
Well, you want to know something
You either die
crazier?
the hero or live to see yourself become the villain.
Dude, now we're talking sisters and okay, so Ezra, who was playing on the Juno, he's a very sexy human, one of my best friends in the world. He goes by the artist name Motherly Jet. And so when I released Stole Your Lover, he was like, dude, send me the stems, let me remix it. He started remixing it. It was way too fucking good for a remix. So we've reimagined it completely and re-recorded some rad drums, and it's a whole new song. Slowed it down a little bit. Ezra's unreal. But in the process, I said, what if we call it Stole Your Mother? And so later this month, plug right here, Stole Your Mother will come out. So we've got exes, we've got sisters, we've got mothers.
Very
Everybody's
different
getting
topic.
stolen, okay?
Oh shit!
Everyone's getting stolen out here.
But man, hopefully it's your heart next. But
I think I can say this on the podcast. Years ago, your cousin Travis, he told this whole story about his dad, and his dad. He didn't grow up with his dad, but he met him when he got older.
Wild.
And his dad and his dad's brother or cousin, Knucklehead.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, their relatives, whatever. They told him stories like, oh, back in the day, me and your Uncle Knucklehead, we go into a bar, and we'd walk in and we go, everybody's mother, brother, sister who doesn't want to get fucked by the end of the night better get the fuck out of here.
dude, with an uncle named Uncle Knucklehead,
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect anything less. I'm kind of jealous. I only have an Uncle Dan.
See, I didn't have a knucklehead, and I definitely didn't have a Dan, but I did have an Uncle Animal, who was
The fuck, Uncle Animal?
yeah, he was in and out of prison a lot.
Yes, of course he was.
He hand wove me a bull whip for like my 3rd birthday.
the fuck? This guy's in San Diego?
Yeah, no, he's in L.A. I had a lot
Oh,
of
of
family who
course,
was
of
involved
course.
in gangs in L.A.
Yeah.
But and then I was at a funeral and he was there, and I hadn't seen him in like 10 years. And I've kind of stayed away from that side of my LA side of the family. I kind of don't really,
Yeah.
and he just
different
came
people
up,
up
walked
there,
up to
man.
me, and my girlfriend, now my wife, was with me. We hadn't been dating that long, and he comes up and he's just like this Mexican dude, just like hardcore Mexican dude.
Yes.
And he was
Face
just like-
tattoos?
No face tattoos.
Oh.
Actually, I don't even know. I'm sure he's got tattoos, but I don't know him that well. It's been a long time. And he was just like, "You did a good job getting away from this family." And I was like, "All right, animal,
Anything else?
thanks. I haven't
That's
talked to you in
amazing.
10 years. This is what you say to me, and now, all right, haven't seen him since."
That's a t-shirt.
I think he's like
I would wear
mugshot.
You did a good job getting away from this
Yeah.
family.
As far as I know, Animal's good now. He's
for
good.
him.
Yeah, I think he's good now. His actual name is Robert.
Oh,
So,
wah,
yeah,
wah.
I know.
Man, you've changed, Animal. Bob.
Oh, man.
I love it. Hey, my Uncle Bob lives in San Diego.
Oh, yeah?
Love him.
Maybe I know him.
He's actually a great guy.
I don't know anybody named Uncle Bob.
Yeah.
Probably not. But you went. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, wow.
Take us on a tangent.
Take it on. No, I was just going to say, so you obviously lived in Orange County for a long time. I assume you made it down to San Diego a lot.
As much as I could. I love it down there.
Now, they're very different cultures. Okay, Orange County, LA, and San Diego.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, San Diego, you get your chill vibes, right? Which you seem like a chill guy,
People talk to each other in San Diego. People don't talk to each other in Orange County.
right? But I think we can all agree that it got even worse when you get to LA.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
LA, I know we talked about this a little bit before, but I feel like we just did not make the point across from people who've never been to LA.
It's so mystified and like romanticized.
And everyone there is an asshole.
Like 99.9%.
Yeah, there's a few cool people.
I'm going to say Matt, Tyler.
Matt Tyler?
That's it.
I have a good friend named Matt Tyler. But for you.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
But he's in San Diego.
Matt and Tyler. Oh, wait. We got Claudia. We got
So like 3 out of the 11
Ari.
million people.
yeah.
4.
I think there's probably like 8 or 9
Yeah.
that I
At
know
least.
of. My brother just moved, so I'll leave him off the list.
Yeah, but you kind of lived in a weird place between the two,
Yeah.
where you could get pulled one way or
Purgatory.
pulled the other.
Yeah.
Though it's a little closer to LA, obviously.
But you grow up and you're like, man, when I turn 18, if not sooner, I'm moving to LA because that's where you go to make it, especially for the arts, right? Like,
Right.
so you grow up like I grew up obsessing over performing, and I mean, I grew up. My dad would like. He'd pick me up from school. My drums would be in his truck, and we'd drive up to the Whiskey or the Viper Room or the Key Club. I don't even know if that's there anymore, or Roxy, and go play these shitty fucking sell 50 tickets so that your band could get on a bill showcases. They're like, all right, when do we play? And they're like, you see a list of 12 bands, and you're like, oh,
All right, you're playing at 11:45 until midnight.
yeah, and you're yeah,
But you got to be here by 6.
yeah. And you're 14, and you got to wake up and go to school the next morning, and your dad's got to wake up and paint some fucking houses, and he's angry, but he's also proud of you. But it's this fucking like dichotomy of like, we're making it. We're in LA playing a show, and this just sleazy dude's like, oh yeah, where's your $500? Because you sold your 50 tickets, you know, just crazy, just heaviness.
That's
like,
insane.
and dude, even like, I have been fortunate enough to play for some successful bands to where like now, as I'm like, feels like it's starting over with Teddy at Night, I like am trying to book shows and email these venues, and it's like I'm getting a lot of the same verbiage of like, oh yeah, okay, well, like send me your numbers here and there, and I'm just like, man, fuck you. I've been here. I know what you're doing. Like, you know, the built-in fees. I'm sure you guys know. It's like, oh well, I'm like, oh hey, well, I'm bringing my own, you know, bringing my own front of house guy, and they're like, oh okay, well we'll take off the $200 front of house fee, but you still need to pay $100 because that's your like non-usage of the front of house guy, but it's going to cost you $100 to like not use the guy because he's planning on working that night, and I'm just like,
Change your plans,
And that
bro.
guy's making
Yeah.
like $50 for the night. Like,
yeah. And so I'm like, look, I'm not trying to like gyp anybody, but also like this is robbery. This is why the industry dies. You 20 years ago, this is where Ticketmaster started. Whatever. You know, it's just like, man, something's got to give. But anyways, here we are now, and as Teddy at Night is trying to book some shows, if you're listening to this, I play a mean drum machine.
and we know you are.
You just saw that shit.
I have so many things to say. One is, like you were saying earlier about like you grow up and you know you need to try to move to LA to do it.
Yeah.
So being in San Diego, same thing. Like San Diego doesn't have a very robust music scene because everybody who's truly great gets pulled to LA. So
But the Soma,
the Soma's
Soma.
fucking dope.
it is. I dreamed.
Unassailable.
I dreamed of playing the Soma, and we had gotten my band called the Cavalry. We got we played the Soma side stage a couple times.
Yeah.
And the buyer at the Soma, whatever, was like,
Aaron.
probably.
It's Aaron and Len.
Oh,
With their
Len.
husband-wife couple
Yep.
that ran it.
Dude,
Probably
so
still do.
Coheed and Cambria
Yeah.
comes through, and they're on the come
Love
up.
them.
And so we get booked as the opener,
For Coheed?
side stage. So
So
this
he's
is
like his favorite.
Coheed's like top 5.
Bro.
Easy.
This is
This is like second stage Turbine Blade days, probably.
This is before the arrest. This is a long time ago. I was probably 14.
Oh wow.
We're not going to talk about how long ago that was. Anyways,
40, 50 years. Yeah.
yeah.
This
So we're
is like,
this is
that's like in
82,
Keeping Secrets of Silent
83.
Earth kind of.
Yeah. So I know nothing about Coheed at this point, but the other guys in my band are losing their minds, and it was like they, you know, as they were blowing up, and so it was like we got booked, side stage, got, you know, upgraded to main stage in 3 days, you know, and
Nice.
so we're like, holy fuck, we're playing Soma main stage, and at this point,
Which, side note for people who don't know what Soma is.
yes,
Blink-182, their stated purpose when they started as a band, their dream was to play
no way,
Soma main stage.
I did not know that.
That was the goal of
'Cause they're from San
Blink-182 was, can we
I
play
knew that.
Soma main stage? So that's the place Soma holds in our hearts as kids going to local shows.
Yeah.
Man, whatever happened with that band?
God damn it, Teddy! Press a different button.
I don't know. I'm scared. I don't know what the
Dude,
other buttons do.
You've had good luck so far.
Yeah, so far.
Just
Yeah.
branch
Sometimes it
out,
doesn't
man.
turn out, but usually it does.
I
I
know
mean, you
it's-
already hit It's fucking Christmas Morning, which is maybe one of the best top buttons.
Good.
Yeah.
But anyways, we get there, and for all the drummers out there, Teddy Boldt had a Gibraltar drum rack.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Everything mounted on one rack. Just beautiful and nerdy as fuck. And the drummer of Coheed roasted me hard.
Oh.
Came up, I was 14-ish, 14, 15. And just said a lot of mean things. And
Really?
it was hilarious. It was a hilarious moment.
Was it
But,
was it in a funny way that was like fun and friendly and jovial?
Or is he just like, fuck you, kid?
It was more the fuck you, kid. Like, why is this shitty band opening up for us? But, dude, we wanted to be Thrice. We wanted to be minus the bear
As
meets
you should.
Thrice.
As you should.
Who doesn't want to be Thrice? Dude, I'm making these references and I'm like, oh shit. You know.
Yeah, we know
yes.
all these things.
Thrice were fucking hometown heroes. Like,
This is like
This is
dropping
awesome.
into a foreign country and all of a
Yeah.
sudden like you're like, you speak English too?
dude,
Dude, Dustin Kensrue wants to be Thrice, like of course.
Truth. Yes. But yeah, I saw Muse Absolution tour at Soa.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
I've never seen Muse live. I
So,
feel like that'd be
Go back
awesome.
go back to Soma. So
Alright.
Coheed drummer's a dick to you.
I mean, dude, the whole band, it was crazy. They
Were all dicks?
We almost left.
Even Claudio? I heard Claudio was a really nice guy.
Dude, this is a long time ago. All I can say is Uncle Bob, who lives in San Diego,
Yeah.
was very unimpressed and pretty upset, and he was there to represent. But man, we
Now
played
they were early in their journey at this point.
very early.
But
Sure.
they're like probably in their 20s?
Who knows,
Guess?
man? I like.
Why would you be mean to 14-year-olds?
Yeah,
They probably
that
thought
makes
they
sense.
were like, we should be playing with
Yeah.
a cooler
And
band.
you know
this is
what?
a joke.
After,
I like to look back and claim that we were cool, but we probably were a fucking joke. So where they were like,
Yeah, you were 14 years old. You probably were a joke.
I mean, Gibraltar
just as-
rack, I feel like says it all.
Oh, wow.
You're just as
wow.
much of a dick as the drummer of Coheed.
You would be a Coheed fan. Fuck.
Well, you know what? After that story, I like Coheed the exact same amount. Their music's still dope.
Can you unfavorite their songs on Spotify now? This is the modern day throw the records away.
Yeah, just
Unheart their songs on the streaming service of your choice.
oh man.
It's made being a hyper-conservative Christian so much easier.
You can block artists on Spotify now.
Why?
You know that?
Why?
What?
Because it's great.
Like-
It's like
like they
muting on Instagram. It's like, man, I still love this human, but God, they fucking drive me insane. So I'm not going to unfollow them because that might hurt their feelings. I'm going to mute that bitch. And
So if
they'll
you do
never
that
know.
and like they come up on a playlist, does it just skip that track?
They are like faded out.
That's amazing.
It's great.
I
So
love
like
that.
artists like Lainey. Oh shit. You can mute that if you want. I feel safe.
Okay, I just want to say this. ILYSB is a pretty cool song, and
Which one's that one? ILYSB. Oh, that's
the
the one.
first
yeah,
one
yeah.
that was a hit.
That's the one. That's the one.
So bad, so
Yeah.
bad.
Just brilliant lyrics there. Just brilliant lyrics.
But it was catchy.
It's a great melody.
and it was good. It was a good song. God damn you! But they did get shitty, and I will say I saw them at Bonnaroo, and
I've heard about this
the
performance.
guy seemed this year.
Yeah,
and
I've heard it.
And the guy seems like such a fucking douche. He seems like
Paul, if
somebody,
you're listening, I'm sorry, but he's right.
he seems like somebody who knows that everybody thinks or that all the girls think he's hot. He just was doing shit with his sunglasses. Like he's like, I know you think I'm the shit. I'm gonna show you that I'm the shit. I'm being the shit. He didn't, by contrast, the next day I saw Stevie Nicks. Stevie Nicks is one of the biggest rock stars in the world.
Is the shit.
But on stage, she came off like she's just your grandma or your mom. Like she was there and she
Grandma's
was all,
a little rude, all right?
well, she's
God damn it, dude. She's only 78.
yeah, she's in her 70s, man. But she's just like, this cape is actually what I wore on the cover of, I forget what song it was, on the cover of blah blah blah. And,
The song that shaped culture.
when I told my mom that how much I paid for this, and it was a lot. I mean, even for me, it was a lot. But I told her, Mom, I'm probably going to wear this for the next 40 years. And if you think about it per show, it actually comes out to this much, and it's actually pretty reasonable. And you're like, Stevie Nicks, you were so fucking cool. She
That was just a
acknowledged-
verbal hug.
All of us know Stevie Nicks is rich. Of course she is. And she acknowledged it. She's like, yeah, of course we all know I'm rich, but I'm still your mommy, sweetheart.
Oh.
That's Stevie Nicks.
Maybe don't say it quite like that.
In a not very
maybe
non-sexual
go with mother. I
and
don't.
very motherly
Still
way.
your mother.
I'm still your mother.
I'm still your mom.
I love that though.
Meanwhile-
I get that though. It's a very like fine line, and I don't know.
But the Laney guy, he did the thing where the sunglasses were.
I don't need this kind of ammunition.
He's putting. Do you know him?
Not well.
Okay.
Enough.
The sunglasses to me as an audience, I'll
too
just
much.
say as an audience member, was
Yeah.
a very. I'm putting up a block between you and me because I'm the guy on stage and I'm cooler than you. I
kinda get-
his camera.
I kind of get what you mean by that. But yeah, he's not that bad of a guy.
I don't know why. As soon as
He's
you put the
great.
sunglasses
Howard
on,
Stern.
Yeah.
I got mad Howard Stern vibes.
No, it's funny. Ever since I
Instantly.
started growing my hair out, I got onto a flight a few months ago. And no joke, it was like, I mean, the amount of things that, when you like a moment happens and you're like, oh, thank you. And then like 10 minutes later, you're like, fuck that. Like you have like 18 different comebacks. I got onto a flight with these glasses, with my hair was a little longer. This flight attendant literally went, oh, wow. I thought you were Howard Stern for a second.
We're like, bitch, he's like 64. Like,
I'm like, literally, like, I know I'm a dad now, but holy fuck. Like, I have the, like, medium expensive moisturizer. Like, is it not working? Shoot me
expensive.
straight.
With these sunglasses, the only way I know that you're not Howard Stern is that
Okay,
you
oh.
don't have wrinkles.
yeah, true.
You know what?
It's that medium expensive moisturizer working for you.
It's interesting. This is a new hair thing, like, last 2 years. And I've always had, like, shorter hair. And, yeah, it's really been boosting my confidence lately.
Yeah. See, I feel like if I like took your picture, made it like kind of black and white, maybe
Yeah.
it look old,
Yeah.
and told people like,
Maybe I should start doing Howard
this is
Stern
one of the
impressions.
Beatles.
Oh,
I feel like
yeah.
people would believe me.
I'll take that.
Like, oh, this is a Beatle. Like, you have like a
Beatles
Beatle
energy
vibe.
hair.
They're
Yeah.
like rock stars, but like super ugly, and it like
Yeah, British is
that's
what we
what
call
I'm
that.
going. He's like British with straighter teeth because he had braces.
Oh, wait. I just remembered. Although I don't know if the mic's there. Wesley, is your mic still there? I think I took it away.
No, it's
Damn
not.
it.
Oh, you muted Wesley.
At the next break, we'll give Wesley his mic back.
Great.
Okay.
I
Anyway. So whatever. We're gonna move past Laney. That was very nebulous. I don't know what any of us think of the Laney, but he
I
seemed
think y'all just made it pretty clear. I don't.
guys
Yeah.
seemed like an asshole, but I like one of their songs. So moving on.
That category right there. Yeah, they're fucking assholes, but I really like some of their songs. That's
Coheed.
like 90.
Yeah. Right back.
All right, we got Coheed, Laney. Who else do we hate?
How did the show go, by the way? So they gave you shit.
All I can remember is going to In-N-Out after. And
Yes,
Oh,
it's because it's right there.
it's right
Literally
there.
right
It's
there.
tradition at this point, and
We used
I
to go to
think
the
I'd
laser
s-
tag place right across the street.
oh yes, I've been
Yeah.
there. I think the week before I had seen Me Without You, Thrice, and Brand New, all on one fucking tour, dude.
Wow.
I saw them a week before, so it was. I just kind of was. I was reeling. I was like, "This is
I think
nothing."
I think my band opened for Me Without You,
Oh yeah, I mean,
but I can't remember.
Hell yeah, dude. It was just. I feel like it was. I know a lot of the other guys in my band were upset about it, but I just thought we played main stage Soma. This is never gonna happen again.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Is the Soma still killing it?
It's
still going.
It's still going. Yeah.
Well, I have to play it.
I don't know how they're doing now, but
I mean, I was looking. I'm planning a West Coast tour right now, and I
Yes.
looked, and they're still doing things,
Do you want? Can I open for you at the Soma?
dude. Hell yes.
I'll bring my drum machine. Dude, no, I'm like, oh my God, dude, my life was changed at the Soma. I would like to go. I've been on a bit of a, because there was like, oh, what are your influences? And I'm like, U2, In Excess, Phil Collins. But really, there was one band that changed my life. And I just remembered that it was at the fucking Soma.
Really?
So I went to go see Mute Math,
Yeah.
and a band called Shiny Toy Guns opened for him.
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
Bro,
Shiny Toy Guns. I had a road trip where that was the band of the road trip.
that band changed my life. I am on a current hunt for Shiny Toy Guns. If anybody's listening to this, I am on a hunt for Chad Petrie and Cara Faye, who were the and I mean Jeremy
they
Dawson.
listen to every episode.
Well, fuck. I'm Teddy. At night, I love you. Make music with me, dude. They did this thing where I probably was 16, and it was that moment where you were like, I kind of have wanted to do this before, and in this moment, this is all I want. Performing on stage, creating this feeling for people, creating an escape, dude, they created a wall of sound, and it was the first band I'd ever seen to do. I mean, everybody was like downstage, upstage, downstage, on the edge of the stage, for those who don't know, including me. So it was drums, Cara Faye, the previous love of my life before I met the actual love of my life, Caitlin, Chad Petrie, singer, and like bassist, keyboard extraordinaire, Jeremy Dawson. And they opened up with, I mean, it was stupid. They had haze and strobes behind them. So they were 4 silhouettes the whole show. And I remember just being like so excited to see Mute Math. And I couldn't think straight after Shiny Toy Guns. That was a moment that I feel like cemented synthesizers and just that feeling for me. And dude, to this day, I owe so much to that band. I drove all over. I saw them at the Wiltern in LA, saw them at the Roxy, I saw them at House of Blues Anaheim, I saw them at what's the smaller El
Capitan? No, that's a bigger theater.
San Diego, smaller.
Epicenter?
No, smaller San Diego,
About
weird.
as small as you can get.
Why can't I think of this name? I've seen like 10 shows there. Small.
Said the Epicenter.
Saw
There
Mike
was
Snow
one- the
there.
scene-
Was that one at UCSD? I forget what that place is called.
Oh, the Shea Cafe.
Where's
Shea Cafe.
Google? Where's Google?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wesley, get on it.
Okay, keep going. San Diego.
Smaller?
small
Like there wasn't
venue.
that many
Venues.
venues in San Diego.
Oh, the Okrakorian.
Oh, we're in theater.
Who Shiny Toy Guns played there? And what year is this?
2006, 7.
Okay. Tell me more things
Why do
about
I think
this
it's
place.
El Cajon? No, it's.
Well, I know El Cajon's a place.
True.
Is it a venue?
No, El Cajon's
In El Cajon, there were not very many venues, but the Okrakorian Theater was one.
Casbah. Here's our list of venues.
Casbah.
Oh, the
Casbah.
Casbah. Oh, that's pretty decent.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
pretty
Yes.
sizable. Yeah.
Krikorian. You had a Krikorian theater in San
Yeah.
Diego? We had
Yeah.
one in San Clemente, and it was the spot.
Really?
Yeah.
They had Coke Ices.
Oh, I don't think I
it
ever
was-
went there when
so
it was open.
It was a movie theater that became like a dollar theater,
Yep.
and then it
Yeah.
switched to being a music venue. And then weirdly, the private Christian
Soma was
high
a
school
music-
I went to
No.
took it over for 2 years. And
Dude,
so
we got
I
more in
had
common.
an algebra class at the old Gregorian Theater that was also a punk rock venue at night.
I love it.
So there you go.
Dude.
And I'm not kidding. They didn't do anything to renovate it. I had an algebra class in an old movie theater.
I love that.
How weird is that? And there was like 5 of us in the class.
Just spread
and a
out.
brand new teacher.
Dude,
So weird times.
I'm having all sorts of San Diego show flashbacks, but I drove down to see Shiny Toy Guns at the House of Blues. Open for the Sounds, another great band. But we parked in a parking garage where we didn't read the sign that closed at 8. So our car got locked in the parking garage.
Classic.
So we had to break into this parking garage after, and we kept like inching towards the door, like the gate, thinking, well, it's a sensor. They're going to open up. And we inched towards and we hit the gate. And then like it made this weird sound and we got out and pushed the gate open and I think we broke it. I don't know. But all I remember
I'm
is like,
calling the police
Yeah.
right now.
this is a long time ago, so I think I'm safe, but
Hey,
oh,
all right.
shit. I should have known Teal was.
Was Rick. That was a completely random button push. I had no idea what it was. Oh, Rick. Oh, shit. You pull out the Rick Springfield record.
Whose podcast is this?
Okay, bring me back because you moved to Nashville, Tennessee to work with Waverly, this aging Christian band. I don't know how old they were. They're probably
Great.
younger than me at the time. And then
It was
what
funny. They
happened
were all
next?
like really old, like 28, 27.
Dying.
And I was 20. I was like, good God. Now I'm not
Never want to live
20.
to see that year.
Yeah. And I was like, man, like, I guess this is what happens when you're like 28. You just, you call it. And, dude,
Pretty accurate.
honestly, I knew nothing about Nashville. I just knew that I wanted to be a part of music. And honestly, when I moved here in 2011, there was a very cool scene happening, and it was happening.
I moved 2012. Same time.
But then you moved back to San Diego.
Yeah, whatever.
And those
Keep
years
going,
don't count.
Keep going. It
Is
doesn't
this,
matter.
Is this mine?
Your personal,
that's all you.
Your personal vendettas are not key to his story.
He's a fucking traitor, okay? Dude, there was something happening in East Nashville, which planted this thing
Before
in
it
me.
was called East.
Yeah.
Don't you fucking hate that? Or do you not? Maybe you don't. I do.
Honestly,
When people say, "Oh, over in East," I want to kill them.
it's
a
so
direction.
gross. Yeah, that is a fucking direction.
There's lots to the east.
It's not a place.
All I knew is that there were house shows and there were dirty, gross venues, and there was a culture. I wouldn't call it a scene. There was a culture to where I played drums for a couple bands that were just like slumming it, but had all the talent in the world. And it was like, dude, I played the opening night at Basement East for this rad hip hop artist named Chancellor Warhol. Sold out, fucking madness. And then and then that was it. It was like his moment was like, yep. Like there was so much of that happening to where I was like, everything is happening in East. Have you been to Three Crow? Have you been to Cobra? It's like, now you're like, I'd never fucking step foot in those places. But like, it felt so exciting to where like a few years ago, my wife and I are like, okay, we've saved up for years and we're either going to move to East Nashville or Brooklyn. I'm like, and this was on,
Different vibes.
this was on the edge of me launching Teddy at Night. And I was like, I would love to be somewhere where there is culture, where there is passion and drive. And it felt like the tourism in Nashville really killed everything and just squashed this like scene. And or everybody is like, oh, I got on this editorial playlist. I guess I should move to LA now. And so that became like the joke. And I was like, man, so many people as I was like
Laney.
motherfuckers. And so as I was like demoing out these like original, like first few Teddy at Night ideas, so many people were like, oh, this doesn't belong in Nashville. You need to move to LA. And I kind of like found this like, man, well, I could go to LA and be like the small fish in this giant fucking pond and drown and die.
Right. And pay
Or-
$4,000 a month for rent.
Yeah. Or try and be a part of a weird nostalgia fused indie pop scene that's I believe is going to come back in Nashville
Yeah.
and help usher it in. Well, while creating that, last few years crazy, whatever, lockdown, pandemic, madness.
Right. Because you were saying before the show that you started this
Dude,
like right before the shutdown.
like here's a funny timeline. So when I was in Family Force 5, I managed all the social media and stuff. So I was in like meetings.
Sorry, when the fuck did you become a part of Family Force 5?
2013. 13 to 2012 to 2017.
That's a long time.
So I was lucky enough in this small fucking corner of that time of my life to be, we were on a label and I was on emails and phone calls with, Facebook people and Instagram, ad people and stuff. And they're like, hey, this is how
the
social
early
media
days.
works. Yeah, classic, good old times. And before like the algorithm was like a god. And maybe, I don't know. I really don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But I
He's
had
a brand new god.
Yes.
He's a baby god.
yes,
Fresh god.
real cute.
Yeah.
I'll
And so-
make you famous if you want to.
So
And you're never gonna give me
never ever. So I had
I'm
some
your god now.
yes, I had some sort of pulse on that world, and so while creating Teddy at Night, I fell quickly into the cesspool of comparison and
Yeah.
seeing what all these other artists were doing, whether it was like somebody would come out and do something, and I'm like, fuck, that's similar to what I was trying to do. Or so my only answer was, let's delete social media for 2 years.
Whoa.
Which, I don't know, maybe history will tell that was one of the worst decisions. But so I craft this 5-song EP that I put out in 2020, and I come back and I'm like, I did a whole thing. My return to social media. You know, you do the whole wipe the profile thing. And at this moment, people are like, oh, there's this new app called TikTok. And I'm like, yeah, no, that sounds stupid. And so I did a whole, like, the first post was Teddy in the morning making breakfast. Teddy in the morning making a mimosa. Teddy at noon. You know, and I did a whole thing, and then it was like, it got to Teddy at night.
Like Teddy
and it
at
was
night
like,
doing some heroin.
yeah, getting fucked up, and, you know, like, robbing banks, whatever. And so once it got to, like, Teddy at night, it was like, I changed my, like, Instagram handle, yada, 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 just build that hype, you know. And the day I came back to Instagram to announce that I was, hey, Teddy at Night is this artistry thing that I've been working on for years. I'm so excited to, you know, announce it and to launch it. The tornado ripped through our neighborhood and ripped through Nashville. And
did it hit you?
No, it hit one street over. And we had some debris in our yard, and like we were without power for like a week. But there was this weird survivor's guilt that a lot of our neighbors and stuff, we just felt like, so we were walking around the neighborhood and cleaning up stuff. And so Holly Street was the street that just got demolished, and that's 2 streets over from us.
Wow.
So
freakishly close.
Dude, it was weird. So then I'm like, oh, cool. How the fuck am I going to continue to post about Teddy at Night?
Yeah.
This baby that I've been creating and working so hard on. So a friend of mine said, dude, stay on the course, but also, like, you know, be sensitive. And I was helping out here and there wherever I could, just clean stuff out. We were stuck in we couldn't get out of our neighborhood. There was trees and houses and signage, and everything was blocking, you know, whatever. It was so dark. And I mean, you guys were here. It was so heavy.
We were doing this show, and the tornado, our guest for that week was like, hi, I don't think I can come on this week and like promote my new single when there's just been this tornado. Can we reschedule? Yeah. And then, as you know, you'll probably about to get to, the next week was, hi,
bro,
let's just be safe because of COVID-19. It's probably not a big deal, but we just want to be safe.
Hey, as you're helping,
didn't do it for 2 more years.
Shit. So we're like in a similar boat to where we're like trying to launch these babies and brands of ours. We're like, dude, it was like, okay, like not trying to check any sort of box or anything, but like, hey, all the friends that are in California that live other places, like, here's where you can donate, yada, yada, yada. And, but also March 19th, Teddy at Night, it's coming. And I was like, oh, I just feel gross. I fucking hate this.
March 2020.
Bro. So my first single came out March 19th. I don't know if you remember, but the official lockdown for the United States was March 17th. So 2 days.
Hey, you got nothing else to do? Might as well listen to this song.
I literally fucking said that until people were like, hey, bro, no, people are dying. This is real. And my dad was like, no, it's not. Whatever. We don't need to go there. But
people still believe that to this day.
Yeah, it's true. But it was crazy. So I had like meetings with booking agents and management and blah, blah, blah. Cool, good for you. And just shut it down. And that was right around, well, my wife was a few months pregnant, and then we had just moved to East Nashville. And it was like dream neighborhood. We can walk to Rose Pepper. It was just crazy. And so I fell into a very self-loathing slump, a gnarly depression. Yeah. And in that, you know, it was my daughter Violet being born in August saved my life and kept me going and put things into perspective to where I was like, yeah, like I can't half-ass anything. These songs, there's nothing I sing about that is as simple as, like, I don't know, say a band like Laney, but
hey,
just kidding. We just needed
you so bad.
We needed a
Everyone needs a
thank you
scapegoat.
How bad? So bad. And no, I do not hate that band. I just don't listen to them.
They're just fun to make fun of right now.
Yeah. And so it was just like, it felt like that was like the era of bedroom pop, right? To where everything was like, oh, hey, my dad bought me a MacBook. I have, GarageBand on my iPhone. And I was just like, which there's nothing wrong with that. But in that moment, I felt very vulnerable after pouring my heart out. And I'm like, no, all these synthesizers must be analog. And it has to be real drums. And, and it's just like these 16-year-old kids are like, yeah, I downloaded this sample pack and shit out this like song that has 100 million streams. And it was a new world. It was a new world. And I spent a lot of time complaining about that new world. And I'm not gonna lie, I wasted a lot of time complaining. And I was also, working for a band where we were still touring, and I was like lying to friends about, no, I'm not on the road. Not even lying, just being like, hiding from bands that struggled and that were severely affected, which I was personally severely affected, which we all were. But, it was like the touring industry were one of the things that were like, it was swept, out from under you. And there were no, I was self-employed, so you couldn't get unemployment, whatever. So like my badass wife was like, don't worry, like I'll figure it out. Like,
were you self-employed for working for a band?
Yeah.
That's how they do it.
Oh yeah.
1099?
And we got a nice email that said, hey guys, looks like, everything's shut down for a little while. So
was it a little more like, hey guys, looks like everything's shutting down for a little while?
Hey guys, hey, looks like you're kind of fucked, hey. So
You've gotten good at it.
I'll tell you what,
Hey, hey is the thing.
Hey is the tail, you know what I'm saying? Because, Home Depot is really driving the prices up on that lumber. And this mansion's not going to fucking build itself, hey. So we, we're financially in not a great spot. And that was just it. It was like, okay, let's figure out how to build this. And man, I struggled a good bit, but I blame Violet, my daughter, in the best way. She pulled my head out of my ass. And it was like,
Be careful. She listens to every episode.
yeah. Yeah, well, Caitlin and I talk, we're like, oh man, like we're not going to censor ourselves. We have a lot of friends. We joked that like the thing in Nashville was like, you have a kid and you get a corporate job and you move to Franklin.
Oh.
And,
You get a kid, you work for Dave Ramsey, and you move to Franklin.
Don't get me started.
Oh, I would love to get you started, but
We have another song.
that's what I was going to say. We had to play the second song.
Speaking of Franklin, Tennessee, this song is not for you because it's a song called Strangers Like Me.
If you're listening in Franklin, Tennessee, you have to turn it off right now. Actually, just skip ahead 4 minutes.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
If you're in Franklin, I love you, but you're not my people, and that's okay.
Yeah, same.
It's just okay.
It's just like in San Diego, La Jolla and Del Mar people aren't my people.
Del Mar.
I know. My wife loves Del Mar, and I'm like, what's wrong with you?
Girl, we got to talk about
Broken as a human. She does
Spirit
not listen to
West
every
Coast?
episode, so it's fine.
especially not this far into it.
No.
We can talk shit about your wife.
Your sister?
Yes.
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
Right.
But anyways, we got a second song to play. What song are we hearing?
So this is a song I did not write, and it's a song that we played at a show. My first my live headline Teddy at Night debut at the High Watt, and it's a Phil Collins song, which I love Phil Collins. I adore Phil Collins, but I had showed some friends some demos, and I'm like, you kind of sound like Phil Collins. You get that at all? And I was like, oh my God, no, but thank you. And so this isn't a Phil Collins song that I felt was cliche. I'm like, if I ever cover a song, it needs to have its own angle. And so I thought, remember that Tarzan soundtrack?
Yeah.
And so we played the song. It felt awesome. And a friend of mine who knows way more than I was like, hey, you should release that. I was like, no, I'm not releasing a fucking cover. Are you kidding me? He was like, hey, look, you're doing something that is it's probably not prime time for nostalgia-based 80s pop. This cover connected the dots at your show. Stop being a bitch and release it. And so we did. It came out written a month ago, and we're gonna sing it for you right now.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Whatever you do, I'll do it too. Show me everything and tell me how. It all means something, and yet nothing to me. I can see there's so much to learn. It's all so close and yet so far. I see myself as people see me. Oh, I just know there's something bigger right there. I wanna know, can you show me? I wanna know about these strangers like me. Tell me more, please show me. Something's familiar about these strangers like me. Woo! Every gesture and every move that she makes me feel like never before. Why do I have this growing need to be beside her? Oh, these emotions I never knew. In some other world far beyond this place, beyond the trees, above the clouds. Oh, I see before me a new horizon. I wanna know, can you show me? I wanna know about these strangers like me. Tell me more, please show me. Something's familiar about these strangers like me. Come with me now to see my world, where there's beauty beyond your dreams. Can you feel the things I feel right now with you? Take my hand, there's a world I need to know. 2, 3, hey! I wanna know, can you show me? I wanna know about these strangers like me. Tell me more, please show me. Something familiar about these strangers like me. I wanna know,
And we're back.
Bada bing.
All right, so you wrote that song in... No, just kidding. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Phil. Moving on.
That was
Back
9.
to you. You moved here, you play for Waverly. Somehow you get connected with this Family Force 5. Wild band. I saw them before you were a part of it, and
I
they
saw
had
them in San
crazy
Diego a
bands.
handful of
Me
times,
too.
so I might have been at the
Did
same
you
show.
see? I saw them at Shadow Mountain Church with that band, that Copeland. Do you remember
Holy
Copeland?
shit,
Sounds
of
vaguely
course I
familiar.
remember
Yeah, I saw
Copeland.
them with Copeland and somebody else.
Did you ever go to Spirit West Coast? Delmar?
No, but I like that company I had mentioned earlier. They did. They went, there a
Wes
bunch.
went to
I went
Spirit
to
West.
Spirits West Coast one year. I forget why. I think it was like with Foothills
Probably.
or something. The church we were all
Foothill
went to at
Ranch?
the time. No, Foothills
Oh.
Christian Church. They used to be called something else.
Too much.
Fellowship. Foothills
Yeah.
Christian Fellowship.
They were a fellowship before they were a church. So you're in Family Force 5.
Good
You're
for them.
touring
Definitely not a
around.
cult.
They had crazy pants. Did you have crazy pants when you were in that band?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So then,
I'm wearing black pants today. This is a rare day. I know.
So-
I changed my crazy pants. I still have crazy pants.
I'm
That's
trying to get us to Teddy at night.
Every guy should have crazy pants.
Yada,
you can fast
yada,
forward
yada.
real fast.
Family Force 5, whatever. Super successful band. You're the drummer?
Truth.
Awesome. And did you get that on the strength of the Waverly gig?
Yeah, they came and saw our farewell show at the Rutledge, R.I.P. Downtown. It's now
yeah.
on Martin's Barbecue.
Which is
And-
delicious, to be fair. Martin's is amazing.
Because
So good.
every cool local place in Nashville has to expand and become a chain.
Yeah, But if it's gonna be a chain, it might as well be at Martin's because Martin's is fucking delicious.
Now, have you been to Hugh Babies?
Oh yeah.
Burger spot? Martin's owns that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can get the pulled pork sandwich has Martin's meat on it. It's
From what
it's
I've
great.
heard, Hugh Babies is like the play to where like someday it will be like a McDonald's. Like they're trying to make that
Really?
like a fast food chain.
That'd be a bummer because their food's so good right now.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
Okay,
what they said
so-
about McDonald's. I think. I
I
wasn't
don't know.
there.
I wasn't there.
Wait, maybe
I
this
seen the
what we're-
documentary.
One here. You have any cool, like a crazy story from Family Force 5? Because the band was just wild. Like, I saw them one time. I
Careful
wasn't like
what you ask for.
I wasn't like a fan or anything, but I saw them and I'm just like, this is a fucking wild band. They're just crazy on stage.
So the first time I saw Family Force 5 was at Chain Reaction in Anaheim. You know it?
Of course, yeah. That was one of the places
What,
that, as a
150
San Diego
cap?
band, you want to go play.
Yes. Chain Reaction was a dream. I played a handful of shows there. It was so electric that I was like, this fuck yeah. You know, I was like in the zone of like still kind of like only allowed to listen to Christian music, especially when it came to like new
So
artists
you were
and
like,
stuff.
heck yeah.
I'm like, heck yeah, this is super cool. And I don't know, it was just they had something I felt like was very special. And so it was 3 brothers and 2 other guys. You could feel that sibling tension. And when I moved to Nashville, 2 of the guys came and saw me play drums for another band. And they were like, dude, we love the way you play. Like, let's get a drink. And I was like, holy shit, Family Force 5 guys are taking me out, whatever. And I mean, before you know it, they're like, hey, you know, we're firing our brother and this dude's going to move to singer and we want you to be our drummer. And I was just like, no, duh. But I don't know, man. There are some stories that you would like borderline not believe. They were working some stuff out when I jumped on.
And you're right in the middle of it now.
Dude, I was in the middle of family drama. I was in the middle of them really so they blew up like overnight and had a dadager and it was not great.
There's a theme for you here.
Hey.
It's a theme, hey.
It's just a fucking theme here. Hey. And honestly, I had a really, really big soft spot for a lot of the guys in that band, and I really loved them. And I'm the oldest of 5, and I like for most of my life, I've kind of assumed a big brother role. And funny enough, even though I was very much so the younger guy in the band, there were a lot of odds stacked up against the band because the previous lead singer was magnetic, just a fucking rock star. And rebuilding a band with a new young kid, the rock star element being your drummer, but it's
Titty sprinkles.
it's perfect time to try something new. I was just this young, super hungry, like, fuck it. Like, there is nothing we can't accomplish vibe, which they had before. In that fire, I feel like we combined and it was great. But there was just too much. There was too much baggage and abuse and drama. And man, I'm trying to think of. I'm still talking to my therapist about those days. I'm trying to think of a story that would leave them in a slightly good light. But I will say, Derek Mount, the guitarist of the band, angel of a human. I have no idea how he was in that band for as long as he was. He's awesome. He's the only one that I still talk to. But I wish them well. I hope they're killing it, all of them. But it was crazy. It was heavy times. We toured over 200 shows a year, and
It's a lot.
didn't make any money. And
That's a bummer.
it was tough. And I think looking back now, like the stuff they were dealing with past drama and past just baggage, like at the time, it just overshadowed everything. any win wasn't big enough, and every loss was overstated. And so when it came time for me to just like, I felt like I like escaped. Didn't feel like I quit. It felt like escaping. Everything kind of validated that, if that makes sense. And I regret that. I regret the way everything went. And I hope those guys are happy. Super. I hope they're successful and happy. That was like a, I don't know if you guys experienced anything similar, but like, especially growing up in the Christian music industry, it was like the infamous, like, don't meet your heroes. There were so many moments in that where it was like, I met a lot of my heroes and most of them crushed me. And other than like, do you know, are you familiar with what Winter Jam is?
Yeah.
We call it Winter Scam, which it's okay because I'm out, I'm free. But some of my closest friends are very closely associated to Winter Scam. But we did Warp Tour, 8 weeks straight, 4 days off, and Winter Jam in the same year.
Wow.
So Family Force 5 had this weird mixed bag of markets, and I don't know, it kind of lost its identity there. And yeah.
Is there anybody you can shout out from that world that, like, your old heroes that you're like, well, they were fucking dope?
Give me like a second.
Yeah. Was there anybody cool?
We're looking for one. Or just a little cool's fine.
Do we have a song for this? I don't.
You're like, do we have a button?
Never gonna give you up. Okay. This is a personal one, but there was a band called DC Talk.
Yeah.
Okay. I grew up on DC Talk.
Same.
I love DC Talk.
Love.
Still do
love.
to this day. I don't listen to
Same.
them anymore, but I still
Dude,
love them deep
special
down.
place. So Family Force 5 toured with the Newsboys.
I love the
And
Newsboys.
Michael Tate, formerly
Yeah.
of DC Talk,
Yep.
was a singer of the Newsboys. That dude was kind of like an angel in disguise. That guy came alongside me and was like, hey, this is crazy. Like, but I like you. I like your energy. Let's hang out. And we were extremely tight. We were best buds for a few years. And he helped me navigate a lot of things. He was so kind to my wife and I, and so generous. And I mean, that dude was at the top of the world for years. I feel like the CCM industry is gnarly. It is very unhealthy. And it just chews people up and spits them out if they don't fit in their mold.
Which
And-
people don't know at Christian contemporary music.
Yes,
CCM.
sorry.
Yeah.
CCM, Christian contemporary music is, sadly, I feel like it's, what's the quote? The road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I don't believe hell exists, but
But
feel
if
like-
it did,
if it did, these good intentions forming an industry based around a certain religious belief has really done a lot of harm. And that is crushing. Because growing up in this cult-like thing, which here we are, you got me. I feel like we talked about Belmont and stuff, you
Yeah.
know, which fuck Belmont, but like
true.
I actually met with a friend, a rad human, a drummer, and he had moved here from Virginia and said, "Hey man, I love your drumming. I love Family Force 5." This was that era. I'm currently going to Belmont for a pop drumming major. Do you have any advice? And I said, drop out now.
Your advice is don't do that. Why would you do that? Why would you
Yeah.
make those choices?
Well, he did. And it wasn't an easy road after that. And I felt very bad about that. But I look back, and this is a very thoughtful, rad human. And we're not close. I don't think we ever were really like close, but he's great. And And I kind of have held that close to me. Like, I hope I did more good than harm in that situation. But if I'm ever like presented with some sort of platform, which is just so skewed in nowadays with like people being famous for copying somebody else's dance move on TikTok. It's like fame is not relevant anymore, or just availability or presence is just fucking skewed now. To where apply that to any industry, any corner of this sad artistic thing, any form of art is going to be taken advantage of if there's money to be made. And I think the CCM, Christian Contemporary Music Industry, was it. People, radio stations, they went, here's the formula, here's how we get you, and here's everything that encompasses this world. And if you don't fit in this mold, you're out. And I, in a former life, really tried my best as a humble little cute little drummer boy, tried to make a difference. And I've connected with a lot of brilliant people on the road, and really a lot of hurting people, a lot of misinformed, hurting people. And I haven't been able to say, hey, I think you're misinformed, or hey, I think you should go to therapy because praying's not going to cure this shit, And now, officially being out of that industry and publicly talking about it for the first time here on Music Row Hideout. Hit it. Not
For the podcast listeners, he just raised a praise hand.
One singular praise hand.
If you would like to support Teddy at Night and the ministry he's doing, you can call in right now. We have operators online.
you got really southern really fast.
If you're going to ask for money, you might as well.
Dude, I in the bigger picture of things, I believe in if you're going to do something, do it truthfully and wholeheartedly. And
Do something, do it Southern. That's what I say.
see,
Yeah, man.
bless your heart. And I think live on television, as we're talking right now, I was never able to do that in that world. And they chewed me up and spit me out. And I've never been healthier mentally. Like, thinking about talking about this shit with you guys is kind of like a pipe dream. Like, I never thought I would be here
Saying these things.
saying these things where I know, like, my mom might hear this. My dad might hear this. My former boss, my former cult leader might hear this. Like, yeah, like, all like funny jokes aside, it's like, if I'm going to make a mark in this world, it's funny, I put everything through. It used to be like, man, I hope my girl thinks I'm cool. Which it still is, because my wife is a fucking baller. But now it's like, oh shit, I have a little girl, Violet. She is 2 and some change, and she's unreal. And I want to see her dad 20 years from now and go, damn, I don't even know that version of him, which has me crying myself to sleep some nights. But I want her to be proud and think like, yeah, maybe, who knows, maybe in 20 years, Teddy at Night's going to be, selling out like the Cobra or something, but like, 80 tickets, it'll be fucking crazy, or whatever. But if my little girl can look back and go, man, my dad was himself all the time, and I learned that from him, and he inspired me to propel and be myself, dude, like, that's it, job over. And yeah, it's weird. I've never been in a position to think like that. I've always been like, oh shit, okay, bus calls at 6, just mega anxiety, just mega depression, and trying to like navigate through this, like, well, that's just what we do. We live in Nashville. We play, 180 shows a year. Your family is like your family on the road, really. It's like, you may have a wife and kids at home, but I mean, you're married to the ministry. And I think that's fucked up. And I think until, my name is what? I'm a fucking nobody. But until people start talking about how fucked up that world is, it's not going to change.
I think it's starting. People are more and more.
I'm in. Sign
Things
me
are
up.
becoming more open, especially as like the age of technology has
Right.
gone faster and faster over the
Well,
last
cancel
few
culture,
decades.
you know, it's funny because it's like been branded. Everything is branded. Everything has, you know, it's like, oh, you know, what are you going to do? Cancel me? It's like, well, hey, look, you know, that started with good intentions, I believe. It was stopping really bad people from doing what they're doing. But I think that label of cancel culture has made it to where like, oh, what are you going to do? Cancel me?
Right.
And now it's like, okay, cool. We're all a bit desensitized to this thing that started out.
Once
with
I
good
started canceling dead people,
right. They're dead.
I was like, it's a line.
Let's do some work. Yeah.
Like, let's move on.
Yeah. I believe in every human that exists. And even the worst of them. Like, I'm at fault. I see good in everybody. But I also see truth. And I think there are a lot of people out there that just need a bit of exposure and a bit of accountability. And sadly, it's going to be a rough few years for a lot of these people. But dude, maybe I'm one of them. I don't know. I hope that when I'm done here, people go, you know what? He's a bit eccentric. He wore some weird pants and,
Not as weird as pants, though.
No, sometimes it's
clear.
just black pants. But I hope that people remember good. And that's it.
Yeah,
like I think it was like
you're being honest. Like you feel
Right.
authentic. Like I don't feel like you're putting on a show.
And I feel like for a long time that was tied to, well, I have to be a good person because that's what Jesus did. And I'm not shitting on that concept, but it's very skewed. And I don't need a reason or an excuse to treat people right. And nobody does. And this isn't new for me, but
Just
I'm
don't
like,
be a dick.
it's it.
It's like
And
not that hard.
It never was that simple for me growing up. There always had to be some sort of bigger purpose or
Yeah.
higher calling.
I grew up in that world too.
Yeah. So, and I know dude, I used to joke that Nashville was the city for recovering Christians. Because it is. And I think we really are at a place where, religion aside, we gotta be better. We gotta be kinder. And especially with people in power, especially, people who are famous for a song or a really cool dance on TikTok. Use your fucking platform. Like, do better. Don't just post links to charities. Like, tip your fucking waiter 25%. Whatever
Like
the
just be
fucking
generally a decent person in your life.
Just do it. People are hurting. We've had a fucking gnarly few years. How do we do like the tiniest? Dude, I'm currently unemployed, right? Like, I don't know. So I go to a park with my badass little 2-year-old who's great on slides, by the way, if you were wondering.
Nailed it.
Just great. And, she's waiting her turn for her slide. And another kid is not waiting their turn. It's like, I joke. I'm like, oh, all these, got so annoyed. People, all they do is talk about their kids. Now that's all I do. And the fact that my little girl sits there and goes, it's your turn. I could sit there and digest that moment for days thinking, holy shit, I never sat there and taught, Violet, wait your turn. No, buddy, this isn't your turn. For some reason, she has this kindness where she goes, hey, that kid, he's sitting there and he's wondering, should I go down this slide? I don't know. I'm fucking 18 months old. I'm scared of this big fucking slide. But she sits there and goes, it's your turn.
That's sweet.
And yeah, it's like, I agree. It's so fucking sweet. I'm so obsessed with this little human. But I think it may all be as simple as that. And I don't know. Yeah. So Violet.
I want to say one thing. So we're going to have you back.
Okay.
And we're going to...
I'll bring an orchestra.
Yeah.
Hell
That'd be
yeah.
dope.
How many people can we fit in that room?
In that room,
7
yeah.
max.
In this room,
All right,
Like,
all right,
I'm
all right.
stretching it.
Okay. 7, I can work with that.
Yeah. So we'll have you back, and we're gonna have to get into to the. I need to ask you when the fuck you started Teddy at Night, and we need to do that part of it. But
Yeah.
I want to.
I've always been Teddy at night.
That is a fact.
Yeah.
but only at night. During the day, he was different.
Is it Teddy Day?
Well,
Same thing.
Here we
how I
are.
open the episode.
yes.
But I just want to say this about the CCM industry, like underscoring what you're saying. Let's see if I say it right. But I think one thing that's really sad to me is that as I listen to you talk, like my overall vibe and impression of you and how you're communicating about this, it seems like you're a very genuine person who it seems like you care about what's true and what's right. And it seems like you're very conscientious. Like you really care about other people and you don't want to hurt people.
Yeah.
And
Probably too much.
What's really sad is that you going through like up close and personal with the Christian music industry, you're leaving on the other end going, okay, I need to wash my hands of that.
Yeah.
And for the
Seems
podcast
like the only
listeners,
option.
I'm doing the washing your hands thing with my hands.
Get it closer to the mic.
See,
It's a little
you're a
ASMR.
pro.
Your hands are clean.
And the thing is, so I've spent some time around the Christian music industry myself, and I have some people that I know in the Christian music industry that I really care about, and some that I feel like some of them.
You can't live in Nashville without having that.
Yes, that's
and there's
true.
there is a long list of brilliant people that I care about.
Right.
But I also
Yes.
I'm
And
like,
some of
be
those
you, be you.
and some of those people, like especially if they're celebrities, you're like you'll hear people talk shit, and I'm like, no, you don't really know. They're a good person, okay?
Truth.
And
agree.
sometimes also it's like, yeah, they do kind of suck a little bit, but they're also really good.
Everybody sucks a little bit.
Right. But having been around it myself, like, you know, and I'm trying to think how to say this.
Yeah, spit it out, Ryan.
I'm going to spit it.
Spit it out. Just
I
say
can
what you want to
relate
say.
to this feeling you're feeling a lot right now.
Oh, yeah. Well, so like, I still believe in God,
Hell yeah.
but I don't believe in CCM.
That's a t-shirt. That's a
be.
t-shirt.
It should be. But I fully, like, listening to your whole story, I'm like, what saddens me is that so many people who are people that I believe are, like, genuinely incredibly good-hearted people, looking at the whole thing objectively, have to come to the conclusion that the whole thing's full of shit.
It's crazy to me.
And
To where you're like, you see these people who are absolutely brilliant, which I could name you 30 right now.
yeah.
I'm like, what? Like, I've been to Attaboy with you, and we've talked about this, this, and this, and this, and then I saw your TikTok, and that contradicts everything. Like, it's not those people. It's any sort of like establishment, right? Like, it's sad because a lot of these people that we could probably throw out some names and agree upon that are just brilliant, beautiful humans, they are a part of an establishment that puts rules and regulations
Yeah.
on them to where they go, well, I have 4 kids
Yep.
and I have a rad spouse. And so
we have to follow the rules
so
to
this
stay alive
family,
and to thrive.
so that they can eat, because all I know is how to write a song, this specific kind of song about something beautiful that I believe in. Well, let's play by the rules. And maybe I'm just a spoiled brat. Maybe I have, for the first time in my life, my payroll isn't that.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I have a new voice, or a voice, period. And to bring it back, Teddy at Night, I'm finishing up a record right now, or mixing it right now. It's called Good in the End. And I can't wait, because it's kind of, I can't wait. I'm releasing a record. That's insane. But like one of those old school records, like one of these, like 10,
Are you putting out a vinyl?
10 full songs. Like, it's insane. It was 14, now it's 10. It's smarter. But the record is all about, the title track is called Good in the End, and the chorus just says, like, even though it's fun to pretend, I just want to be good in the end. Like, and it just goes on to saying, like, what happens in the end? Like, really, I believe that nobody really knows, and that's okay. And like, I think asking those questions was when I started, like, there was this certain freedom that people described growing up. Like, oh yeah, freedom in the church and freedom in Jesus and freedom here and freedom there, whatever. And as soon as I finally let all that go, that was the first time I felt any sort of freedom. So for me personally, like, I don't think I'm at a place where I'm like deconstructing or questioning whether a God exists or not. I think I'm in a purgatory stage or a holding stage of like, man, you know what? Like, all I can comprehend is what is here and now. And there are a lot of beautiful people that are that seem locked up in so many different places. And I don't know, maybe I'll have a song that does well, that provides me a platform to where I can talk to these people. And that's the whole point of Teddy at Night, I think, is because I am the oldest of 5 and I've got this big brother syndrome that I can't shake. I have tried. And my siblings are fucking incredible, and they have been through the ringer, and we're all working to be better humans for the most part. But I think I don't know, maybe life is just simpler, and it's just a bummer when money and establishment and politics get in the way.
And ruin everything as they do.
But that's what Mezcal is for.
Now we're coming up pretty much on our time here. But before we do, we have one very important question to ask you that we ask every guest.
Bring it on.
Most important question of the show.
Great.
If you had to choose,
Yes. The red button.
And you do.
now the important thing about this question, though,
Yes.
is the answer must not come from here.
And he is pointing to his head.
It must come from here.
Oh yeah, definitely. That was my second
And
choice
He pointed to his heart.
for
And it's
context.
definitely got to not come from here.
Where?
And for the podcast listener, I'm pointing my dick.
All right, heart.
But if you had to choose,
And you do.
and you do.
Bring
In
it
a very
on.
timely fashion.
Now, what that means, coming from your heart and not your head,
Yeah.
is that I need an answer quickly.
Very timely fashion.
Deal. I'm good at the hearts.
I want you. I don't want you to think about it.
And for the podcast listeners who also listened to last week's episode, Jury just put his vape down so it wouldn't be in his hands when he asked the question.
So good.
I'll tell you about that later.
Yeah.
Deal.
If you had to choose,
And you do.
and you do,
Very, very quickly.
Can my answer be as long as this question?
what would you say
If you had to choose.
is your favorite kind of turtle?
Fuck.
I've never heard of the fuck turtle. Just fade to black right there. But what's your favorite kind of turtle?
Credits roll. Executive producer, Deck Wolf.
Definitely a sea turtle.
Gotta be.
Man, I thought I was getting nervous.
So, sea turtle is your favorite turtle, but the turtle of your heart is the fuck turtle.
The classic fuck turtle.
They're very horny. Well, I mean, there's lots of horns on them.
Tremendous turtle. Fantastic
Yeah.
turtle. One of the best.
I feel like Disney did a very great job in making the sea turtle the
Crush.
coolest. Straight crush, yeah. I mean, Moana, Nemo. They're like the potheads of the Disney characters, and I'm here for it.
That's what I'm into.
100%.
Yeah. So normally when I ask the question,
Yes.
I ask the question and then I do a hand motion.
Let's see it.
I go. But last week I did that with my.
I don't know how you came up with this
I don't
hand
know.
motion. If you've never watched the show, by the way, you should go to Spotify or YouTube so that you can watch it.
I want just a compilation of the hand motion.
I know. I don't know how you came
It
up
would
with
crush on TikTok.
my hands are wild and then they point. Like there's something to it.
But last
love
week I had this vape in my hand and I did that and the pod flew out, hitting our guest straight in the head.
Who was your guest?
Hard too.
Dylan Grantham, aka Young Ritual.
Oh, I know the name Young Ritual.
Yeah, I hit him hard.
I heard he's awesome.
Dude,
And he thought it was part of the
hilarious.
bit. He was like, I thought that's what you do. And I was like, no, man, I'm so sorry.
That's amazing.
It was pretty incredible. So that's why I mentioned it was hilarious to me when you very like explicit. You made like a big point of being like, I'm putting down my vape for this question.
I'm not going to throw this again.
Oh, yeah, it was rough.
I love that.
But anyways, before we get out of here, where can the people find you? Instagram, Spotify, MySpace, Zynga, LiveJournal, Facebook, home address, P.O. Box.
I'm only on TikTok because that's what I've been told.
That's the one I didn't mention.
I deleted everything else. No, I'm pretty much everywhere except for what were some of those?
Zynga.
Zynga? What the fuck is that?
You don't know Zynga? You're old enough. Zynga was the pre-MySpace social media.
I was not allowed. I didn't have internet.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So that's probably why I don't know.
damn.
Zynga, X with an X. Before that was LiveJournal.
LiveJournal.
Yeah. What if my LiveJournal still out there somewhere?
No, when I got a Facebook, I was like,
Yeah, that was the shit.
it was a good day.
Back in, I got mine in 2005.
But it was a band's Facebook. I could only have my band's Facebook and manage that. I couldn't have my personal Facebook. But
Yeah. But
AIM, Instant Messenger?
Oh, that was my shit. I was on that all day, every day.
Well, I had a 30-minute time limit, but
Yeah, my parents were drug dealers, so I did whatever the fuck I wanted.
badass.
Hey, your dad's gonna hear that.
Yeah, but
So
he
you
knows.
have to-
I've said it over the show a lot of times.
But you have
My
to.
dad
I do
would-
have to
Wait,
qualify
yeah.
it with he's been good now for like 10 years.
He's been good for a long time. Now he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
My dad was a
Tremendous
drug
fellow.
dealer.
Nice. I wonder if they
Yeah.
knew each other.
But like,
Went to same conventions?
Southern California. Are you with the drug dealer convention? Yeah, no, it wasn't 10 years. It was probably 30 years ago.
3
Oh, no, this is
days
about
and
30.
2
He's been-
nights in
he's been-
Palm Springs. It's the Coke
He's been
dealer.
good for like 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah. It's,
Yeah.
he's a Christian now.
Nice. Yeah, same. But anyway, so people can find you. Is Teddy at Night everywhere?
What's your dad addicted to now?
The Lord.
It's
From Coke
odd.
to Christ.
Fuck,
Oh,
that's
God.
a shirt.
You know that's a. Yeah.
That's
All right. So Spotify, Instagram,
episode
TikTok,
2.
Facebook. Those are
Yeah.
probably the 4, I'm guessing.
Honestly,
Snap.
yeah.
Teddy at Night.
If you're into it, let's be friends.
And if you're not, like, just
That's
fucking go
okay.
subscribe anyway.
That's okay. Go subscribe. Like, as Mark would say, smash that subscribe button. Yeah. Thanks for getting real. If you listen this far, thank you. I feel like we're all constantly in a state of transition. So
And
Be
here
cool
we are
with that.
transitioning again.
Episode
Be
2
cool
will
with that.
transition further.
yeah.
And-
We got this out of the way. This is like
This is the intro to
It's your
you.
first therapy session where your therapist is like, "Oh, that was a lot," and you're like, "Oh," and then the second one you're like, "Yo, girl, what's up?" And she's like, "Hey, you look healthier." I'm like, "Yeah, because all we did was talk shit the last time.
I've been doing the work.
I'm great. I do 10 push-ups a day."
When does your next album come out?
So, we've got an EP coming out January 27th.
Okay.
Oh, so soon.
And then, that's Stole Your Mother right now. It's January 27th. And, this album is about to come out throughout the year. They say, don't release an album, release singles. And so,
you made
gotta
an
have that
album, but
regular
you're gonna release
content.
singles.
yeah. So, album's called Good in the End. I'm so proud of it. I can't wait to show y'all.
Well,
Yeah,
you
later
sent me
this
one
year.
of the songs when we booked this episode, and I
What did
haven't
I send
heard
you?
it. I forget which one. I mean, you sent me like a SoundCloud link, and I forget.
Oh, that was the EP.
I forget what
Yeah.
one it was, but it was so good.
Oh, thank you. You had
That
commented
one.
about Stole Your Lover. That's why I played it here for you.
Oh, maybe that was the one I thought was so good then. Yeah, I heard the song and I was just like floored.
Thank
so
you.
good.
I can't wait to show you this record. I'll send it to you the second it's done. And the goal is to sell out the Basement East at the end of this year.
Dope.
And then Soma main stage.
And then fucking Soma main stage, baby.
Well, on that
And then
note,
Chain Reaction.
as always, guys, thanks for coming to hang out. You guys are awesome, and we'll see y'all next time.